Hey guys, Josh Arsamon here. I had a few requests, people asking me to shoot a video on setting goals for the new year. I made a post on Facebook about setting goals, and several people asked if I could help mentor them or give them some coaching. So I figured I'd do a video instead. I figured that would be more valuable. That way you could rewatch it, rewind it if you need to, send it to your friends if you want to. So yeah, let's dive in and get started. All right, so here we go. New Year goal setting. This is something that I personally use. It's a system that I use for myself, and I hope it's valuable for you as well. Here's what you're going to learn today. You're going to learn the action plans for 8 life categories. We're going to be doing some calendar planning tips and strategies to stay committed to your goals. All right, none of this is possible without first understanding the power of beliefs. Because no matter how many tips and tricks I give you or tools to help you guys achieve your goals, if you don't have the right mindset, none of it is going to work. And I picked this belief cycle from Tony Robbins years and years ago. And basically it's a cycle. So if you believe in something, whether it's a true belief or not, that belief can be just as disabling as if it were true. Because what happens is, you think that you can do something or you think you can't. And either way, you're going to take action based on those beliefs. If you think that you're talented at public speaking, you're more likely to take actions towards getting more public speaking gigs. If you think that you're not talented and you have a fear and that you think you're not good at it, or that you stutter, or whatever the case, whatever it is, you're going to probably not take actions to get out there and do public speaking. Either way, you take action or you don't, it's going to lead to a result. And that result is going to reaffirm your belief. And so it's like, what comes first? Is it the belief that's true, or is it the result? I believe it's the belief. The belief comes first. So as we go through your goal setting, you want to first check your beliefs about what you think is possible for you in your life. Because I 100% believe that belief will be the one thing that sets you back in life or sets you up for success. So take it or leave it, guys, but definitely look into and check your beliefs. All right, let's start off with the first goal. The first goal is fun and adventure. Life is not just about work. It's about creating memorable experiences. And so I like to start off with fun and adventure. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do now, and you can pause this, take notes, pause, and work on it on your own as you go through it. But the first thing I want you to do is brainstorm a bucket list of everything that you want to do this year centered around fun. And I put adventure because for me, life is about adventure. If you know anything about me, you know I love to hike. I love to explore. I love to go climb a mountain. There's certain things I love to do. Other people maybe like to sit on a beach and drink alcohol, but everyone has their own version of fun or adventure. Some people like to jump out of airplanes. Whatever the case may be, write down and create a bucket list of things you want to do this year. Second thing, I want you to choose 3 to 5 adventures. Now, here's where mindset gets into it and belief. Like, don't think to yourself, well, I can't do that. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't, have enough resources. Don't worry about that right now. Write it down. What are the 3 to 5 things you want to do? Write those down, and we'll find a way to make it happen. The third thing I want you to do is block time on your calendar. Now, this is very important. You got to keep a calendar. I like to use Google Calendar, but you need to do this now. We need to block off time now at the beginning of the year and prioritize our calendar around fun and adventure. I know that sounds backwards to a lot of people, especially if you're, money-centered or career-centered. But if we don't do this, it won't happen, because as we all know, time goes by fast, and people and experiences will fly by if we don't plan them ahead of time. And before you know it, we'll be 8 months into this thing and only have a few months left to plan, and that may not happen. So let's plan those times and block off time in your calendar. What I like to do is this. I like to take my calendar and I like to block off at the beginning of the year, block off weekends, weeks, any day that I could find time to do something fun. Block that off first. Like, identify what those weeks and weekends are first. and then work on plugging in 3 to 5 of those adventures into those blocks of time. Last thing, I want you to book some trips and events in advance. I already have August planned out. I have a trip in August, I have a trip in February, I have a trip in March. All of this was planned out and paid for months ago. And I'm in December of 2024 as we speak. So I prioritize fun and adventure. And that way, by the time you get to it, it's already paid for, it's already been planned, it's gonna happen. You won't feel the pain of maybe, paying for that trip or having to book something last minute. All right, a couple things here. Think about your bucket list for the year. What adventures excite you? Commit to 3 to 5 activities. And adventure doesn't happen by accident, it's planned. All right, second one. Let's talk about family. Did you know that family is invaluable? I think we do know that. Family is invaluable. Now, when I'm talking about family, I'm talking about your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your family. Now, when setting goals for the new year, I think it's important we talk about family because sometimes we're unbalanced. I know I can speak for myself, but I can also maybe speak for men out there. We tend to be kind of career centered and career focused. And we claim we do that for our family, and sure we do. However, how do they feel about that? So, it's good to be self-reflective and to take a step back and think about these 4 things. So number 1, I want you to plan some regular family time. It may sound funny to plan time for family, but you got to do that, especially if you're the provider for your immediate family. You got to spend time with them and you got to plan to make that happen. Number 2, schedule one-on-one moments with loved ones. Schedule them. You don't have to tell them, hey, I penciled in, I'm going to do this with you on this particular day, but you need to know what it is. You need to know what you're going to be doing. You need to have a plan to make that happen. Because again, years fly by like that. And, kids don't stay young forever. And there's certain moments in time that come and go. And we only get that moment once to make those special moments last and make them meaningful, especially with your kids. Number 3, I want you to add key dates to your calendar. Again, take out that Google Calendar and add key dates, things you're going to do with your family. Maybe those family events and those fun and adventure events sync up and link up together. That's fine. Maybe not. Either way, put those down on your calendar. And then lastly, make family time non-negotiable. Whatever family time means to you. Get-togethers during the holidays, get-togethers after work, spending time with your family on the weekends, maybe going to your kid's soccer game or baseball game or your grandkid's soccer game or whatever it is. Make those non-negotiable. In other words, if something else pops up, you're going to say no. Remember, anytime you say yes to something, you're saying no to everything else. And that goes with your family as well. All right, let's move on to number 3. Our number 3 goal we're going to set is relationship. Whether you're in a relationship or seeking one, intentionality matters. Now, when I talk about a relationship, I'm talking about that one-on-one relationship. Maybe it's your marriage. Maybe it's your boyfriend or girlfriend. Maybe you don't have one of those, but you're wanting one. We've got to put attention into that category if we want that category of life to grow. So 4 things again. I want you to plan date nights. Plan date nights with your spouse. Literally get out your calendar and plan out when are the date nights. I have date nights. Every Thursday night is date night. We do something, okay? It doesn't have to be crazy or expensive or extravagant. It's just something. Number 2, I want you to mark anniversaries and special occasions. So again, get out that calendar and mark down special occasions. I have it on my Google Calendar as a yearly, it's just synced up, so every year it pops up. So I don't have to do this every year, especially for those of us who may forget special anniversaries and dates. All right, number 3, align goals with your partner. This is very important. If you have a partner, it's very important that you hear what their goals are, and you listen and you understand, and you have to then align your goals with their goals, and really vice versa. But you can't make them do anything. You have to align with theirs. You need to sync up. If your idea of fun and adventure is climbing a mountain and theirs is, sipping margaritas on the beach, then you may have some issues with what you want to do and where you want to go this year. So sync up. And number 4, I want you to commit to growing together. So this is important, and this is why I say you should probably share this goal setting video with them so that they can they can grow and they can continue on this path of setting goals and moving to the next level with you. It's important you do that together. All right, so relationships, mark it down. Next one, career. All right, career growth doesn't happen by accident. You don't just fall into a position in life. You have to work at it and you got to plan. And so there's 4 things. Number 1, for your career, I want you to identify key milestones. What are going to be the milestones that you can achieve this year that will give you closer to your ultimate goal? Whether that's retirement, whether that's the next pay raise, whether you're trying to get ahead in a company or start your own company, whatever it is. Identify what those identify the key milestones and what they're going to be. Number 2, I want you to plan skill building activities. So in order for you to get to the next level in life, but specifically in your career, it may require a different version of who you are. And that may require you to acquire new skills. And at every stage of my life, whether it's been teaching martial arts, managing a martial arts school, owning a martial arts school, training instructors to develop a martial arts school. Now I'm coaching martial arts school owners to grow their school. I've had to acquire new skills in order to do that. And that doesn't happen by accident. It comes through reading, podcasts, hiring coaches and mentors to walk me through the process. And so this is something that you need to plan on. So make sure you do that. And that leads us to number 3. I want you to allocate time for growth. What does that mean? That sounds so subjective. Allocate time for growth. Reading. Yeah, if you want to get ahead in your career, how many books are you reading on getting ahead in your career? And by the way, it's not all just how to be better at your job. It may be how to work with people. It may be emotional intelligence is a big part of that. So there's a lot of avenues you can go, but you need to plan and allocate time for that kind of growth. Also, when talking about growth, allocate time to speaking with a mentor or someone who is maybe where you're wanting to go in your career. And so speaking with them and spending time with them will help you acquire those skills that we talked about. Last thing, I want you to share goals with that mentor. I think you need a mentor. I mean, I've said it enough now. I think everyone needs a coach. You know, as an athlete, the best athletes in the world have coaches. You can't get to the highest level as an athlete and not have a coach. And same thing in your career. So, some coaches and some mentors you can hire and you can spend money on. Others may be accessible just by asking, maybe a phone call. But I do think consistency is key with this one. All right, so career. Those are the 4 points for your career. Okay, next one is financial. Financial health is essential for peace of mind. People talk about, money isn't everything, and I agree. However, the lack of money is. So I know that sounds a little like sort of like a riddle, but I believe money is freedom. Money is freedom. So we need to be focused on our financial literacy, our financial IQ. So here's 4 things. Number 1, I want you to revisit your budget. If you have a budget, you need a budget. You need to be looking at your expenses and what's coming in and what's going out. And you should have a spreadsheet. So I keep a spreadsheet and I look at my personal finances and I basically take my personal finances and I look at it as if I was a CEO of my own life. I'm the CEO of my life. And, so I run a business, a Hero Martial Arts Academy, and we keep, a budget and we keep logs and finances and profit and loss. Do that with your personal finances because you need to know what's coming in and what's going out. And how will you know how much money to allocate towards fun or adventure or, date nights or whatever a case may be, or investing and making your money grow? How will you know if you're not keeping track of those things? So revisit your budget. Number 2, set savings and investment goals. So look at last year. How much money did you make? How much money did you spend? How much money did you save? Because the amount of money you made and how much money you save is 2 different things. How much of that money did you invest? And out of those investments, how much of that money is making money for you? These are things you need to look at. And this requires maybe a whole nother video or maybe another mentor to help you through that process. But either way, set some goals for what you want to save and invest. Number 3, schedule monthly financial reviews. So every month you should be reviewing your finances and at least doing some sort of profit and loss on what you've spent and what's coming in. Look at your investment portfolio as well. And then number 3, automate savings and track your progress, which kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said. Financial IQ is very important, and not having it is a cause of stress for sure. So let's work on that for the new year. Next one, personal growth. Personal growth is about becoming the best version of yourself. That's what it means. And there's 4 areas with this one as well. I want you to identify areas for improvement. This requires self-reflection. It requires for you to be honest with yourself and take a step back and really say, listen, I know where my strengths are, but I need to also know where my weaknesses are. Ask some friends, ask people close to you who can give you advice. You know, what are my blind spots? But identify those areas that you need to improve on, number 1. Number 2, set small achievable goals that will help you to fill in the holes, fill in the weak areas. That'll help you kind of see the blind spots. You know, we want to be well-rounded. I'm a big believer in doubling down at what you're really good at and working on making sure that the inadequacies that you may have, they're not inadequacies anymore. They're just, you know, either they're great or they're good. But we don't want anything that's bad. That makes sense. You know, in martial arts, we practice right hand, left hand, punching and kicking. And we always say there should be one good leg for kicking and one great leg for kicking. Meaning we don't have a bad leg. It's either good or great. So that's the analogy I like to use with setting goals and making sure that we're well-rounded. Number 3, I want you to track your progress. You got to track your progress. Where are you now? Can you identify exactly where you are now personally? And you got to be able to measure that. You can't say, I just want to be better. I want to be smarter. I want to be more fulfilled. What does that mean? How can you measure these things? Every goal needs to be measurable. So find a way to measure where you are and track your progress. And then number 4, schedule time for self-reflection. You need to schedule time for self-reflection. What do I do? What does that mean, self-reflection? For me, I love taking walks. No headphones, no music, no podcast, just walking, clear my head. It's like a moving meditation. I kind of think through some things. I call it thinking time. Just time to think and reflect. Where am I at? Where do I want to go? What matters the most to me? And boy, that can be some of the most inspiring sessions of me just walking and thinking. And I'll take my phone with me only if I have a good idea or a thought, I'll jot it down in my phone and come back to it later. This video was birthed during one of those thinking time sessions. So make sure you plan that. All right, let's move to the next one. All right, fitness and health, very important. Might be at the core of everything. If you don't feel good, you're not going to perform in any aspect of life. Health is wealth. All the money in the world doesn't matter if you don't feel good. In fact, you'll spend every penny you have just to live a little bit longer and to feel a little bit better for a few more days. People do it all the time. So let's not neglect that until later on in life. So number 1, I want you to set specific fitness goals. Remember, you got to be able to measure it. So I want arms that are so big. I want to lose weight. I want to be able to run a mile in such and such time. Whatever it is, set your goals fitness-wise so that we can work to hit those goals. Number 2, I want you to plan for nutrition and mental health. Nutrition, very important. You can't out-train a bad diet. And again, this is a whole nother workshop we could do on nutrition, but guys, you got to dial in your nutrition. If there's one piece easy advice I could give for everyone, cut out the sugar. If you're already doing that, great. But if you haven't, I guarantee you're going to lose 5 to 10 pounds like that. So also mental health. Focus on, your mental health. How do you deal with having a positive mental mindset? And is that something you struggle with? Number 3, schedule workouts and meal prep time. If you're going to be eating right, it's going to take time to go to the store, prep your meals, all that stuff. And so you need to schedule time to make that happen, but you need to prioritize and schedule your workouts. I run a martial arts school. So, if you're taking martial arts classes, there you go. You got your 2 or 3 martial arts classes a week. But you need to also be scheduling strength training and flexibility training and maybe even putting in there sometimes for just a cardiovascular training, right? All those things are really important. I don't have time to do that. Yes, you do. You got time. Stop being lazy. Make it happen. This is what we're talking about. Prioritize these things. And then number four here is number four is partner. Get a partner for accountability. You need someone, a partner who can help hold you accountable. You know, if you're going to martial arts class, they're like there, going there and calling you and texting you, are you going? Or a workout buddy, or maybe it's not someone you work out with, but maybe it's just someone on the same path that you say, hey, listen, I need you to hold me accountable. Maybe it's that mentor I talked about earlier. All right, but make sure you make that happen. Remember, health is wealth. All right, spiritual, inspirational. I kind of put the two in here because, man, spiritual can mean so many different things to so many different people. But let's dive into the four parts of this that I think are important. So number one, I want you to commit to daily practices. For some people, spiritual is a religion, right? You have a religion, and that religion really helps you through a lot of tough places in life and really lays the groundwork to help you live an abundant life with people and surrounded by love and so many things. All right. But for others, maybe religion isn't the answer, but whatever it is, commit to daily practices. What makes you feel more connected to, you know, what's out there? What inspires you to be a better person? You know, you identify what those things are and then make it a daily practice. Number two, read or attend retreats. Read or attend retreats. Maybe it's books on inspiration, motivation, religion, spirituality. Maybe it's retreats. Maybe it's going to church every weekend. Maybe it's doing something beyond that. Maybe it's giving back and, you know, feeding the homeless. I don't know. But for whatever it is for you, make sure you make that a goal for the next year. Schedule quiet time for reflection. This goes back to what I said before, you know, thinking time, quiet time, reflect. I think this is something that we don't do enough nowadays. I think nowadays we get bored, we get on our phone. It's like people don't know how to be bored and think anymore, and just spend quiet time and reflection. And then the last one here, reflect and adjust monthly. Adjust is the key word. Adjust monthly. Reflect on how things are going and make those adjustments. All right, so this brings us to close to the end here. I want you to do a self-evaluation next. Here we have the goal wheel where we have fitness, fun, recreation, all the different goals. And you can see this wheel on each one of those goals. There's a scale from 1 to 10. I want you to take some time to write down right now, how much time do you spend in each of these categories? If you say, man, I don't spend any time, hardly at all, in fun and recreation at all, then put a 1. If you say, man, that's all I think about. That's all I do. I'm all about having fun and doing recreational things. Then that's a 10. But you go around the wheel and you want to evaluate yourself. Now, in a perfect world, everything would be a 10, right? We're just really running on all cylinders, so to speak, all 8 of these cylinders, and we're just at a high level on each one, but that's probably not happened. It's probably not even possible. But we want to be at a high level for as many of these as possible. And I'll tell you, to be honest, when I first did this exercise, I found that wealth was up there, career, or spending a lot of time on my career. Personal growth was another one. Fitness was another one that was high up there with me. It's probably no surprise. Fun and recreation was up there as well. Family, romance, spirituality wasn't that good. I found that I needed to work on that. So going through this exercise, you'll have different results, no doubt, but you need to know what it is, and it may be an eye-opener for you and help you kind of to formulate the overall vision for the new year for yourself and where you want to prioritize your time and your focus. All right, goal mapping tips. Here are some 4 easy tips. Number 1, I want you to use digital tools and planners. Like I said before, Google Calendar is great. I don't have time on this video to make a whole video about Google Calendar, but there's plenty of tools on YouTube that you can use as a resource. ChatGPT is another great resource for things like this. So definitely use the digital tools to make these things happen, and it makes it a lot easier. Number 2, time block your activities. That's a whole nother video as well, but you need to plan your day and time block. When are you at your best for creative thinking? Is it the morning, afternoon, evening? When are you able to, and when are you at your best for your physical activities? Plan that out. All right. We know when work happens, You know, we know when we have to eat and these things. So make sure basically time block your activities and stick to that and be disciplined. This whole thing is a discipline. It's a discipline. You have to apply that discipline to your life. Number 3, I want you to review your progress quarterly. And last one, be flexible and adjust your goals. It's okay to adjust your goals as you go. You may find out things about yourself or come to some self-realizations about where you want to go and who you are, or, you know, you and your goal may sync up differently on your goals. And that may require you to adjust and be flexible. So be okay with that. All right, guys, in conclusion, celebrate the small wins. Make sure you give yourself the grace to celebrate. Number 2, share your goals for accountability. I don't believe in sharing every goal with every person, but certainly you should share those important goals with those important people because they'll help you hold you accountable, all right? Now, if you got those naysayers, be careful sharing your goals with those naysayers because they can kind of take the wind out of your sail. Make this year extraordinary. Let's just make this year extraordinary. Let's go beyond what we've already done. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to just go through life year after year after year and just kind of like look back 10 years from now and say, I'm kind of in the same position I was 10 years ago. I just have less hair or whatever, you know, like, let's make this year extraordinary. Let's do it together. I'm here to help if you need help. And that brings me to the last part, find a mentor. I put a post out on Facebook today about how, you know, as a martial arts instructor, coach, mentor, this is part of what I do. And I also work with business owners, martial art business owners. I have 20 different business owners that I personally work with. And, you know, most of what we talk about is business, but I'll tell you what, the underlying theme for everybody is mindset, and it's life planning before anything else. So I'm just saying, I think it's important for everyone to find a mentor, and whether that's me or someone else, I have mentors as well, by the way. That's you know, so I have a mentor for business, for martial arts, for finance, for real estate, education. I got mentors in all 4 of those categories, and so I could probably use mentors in some of the other categories I mentioned before. But all these things, all right, this is your game plan for the next year. So let's get at it. If you have any questions or you need me for anything, please reach out and give me some feedback. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What's up? Just tell me what you think. Have a great one, guys, and let's make this year the best one yet.